Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome to the final broadcast of the season in the Radical Racing Challenge live on Apex Racing TV. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Alessandro Dalladone, Mark Tranter operating the cameras, and this is the season finale then of this 2021 Season 2 of this championship. Nürburgring Nordschleife is the host for us tonight in this week 12. Alessandro, this has become a little bit of a tradition for the series. This was the final race last season as well, and it's a good challenge to set the drivers to cap off a pretty grueling 3-month championship.
Absolutely, Sam. This is definitely one of the most iconic tracks we have on the service, and we've seen already last year some very good and interesting racing, and it's quite a particular strategy going on here also at the Nordschleife in this Trifarten this time here in Nürburgring, because this car presents a very unique racing around the Nordschleife, so it's definitely gonna be very, very interesting to watch.
Yeah, it sure is. Plenty of kind of long straights around this circuit to bring the cars together. It should be a proper slipstream fest. And hopefully, unlike what we really saw last season when Lopez managed to pull away from the rest of the order, hopefully this season we are going to have all the drivers very close to one another heading down the Dopplerhof for the final time. There's no championship to be decided, at least at the top, because Kane Halliburton has been absolutely faultless. Admittedly, no one's really been able to hold a candle to him. There's been a couple of race wins for Aaron Barber, Kike Ming and John McHutchinson have been good challenges, but really no one able to attend all the races this season. And Halliburton, despite missing several rounds and despite there being no drop scores in this championship, has got a comfortable lead at the end of this season. There you can see Ming and McHutchinson in 2nd and 3rd. And of course we've got the official championship as well, Alessandro, to decide the points in. So yeah, drivers will be wanting to get a little bit further up. I believe iRacing gives some credits for the top positions in the official series, so you want to get your hands on that.
Absolutely. That's definitely always very interesting. I think also there Kane will be destroying the field, but you never know. You always have to go for it because you can gain any position, especially this week. Plenty of points for grabs.
Yeah, for sure. As we have the grid up for you, the drivers haven't just set those lap times. This was all done earlier on in the week. And it's John McHutchinson on pole position. Josh Cam lines up alongside. I think that's McHutchinson's first ever pole position in this series. I believe maybe he got pole at Okayama, I'm not quite sure. Eric Nickens starts in third place, then it's Arturas Condelis, Ant Castles, Paul Crabb, then it's Kyrgiopoulos, Paul Taylor, Scott Lear, Mike Bousson, Martin Keren, Christian Arts lines up in 12th, then it's Emmanuel Suter, Alexis Fabico, Matteo Herman, Denise Platil, Johannes Hesterman, Borja Zaze, Adrian Weber, Andrew Dixon, James Allen, and Michael Messenger, and Ennio Bubba, who we believe might be Aaron Bubba, so watch out for him from the back there. Plenty of just not setting qualifying times here, as the grid may well be a little bit mixed up for sure.
And we are off here at the Industry Fat Great start by John McHutchinson. And behind it's gonna get now wild because we don't want to lose the draft, but we need to be very careful. Plenty of drivers making mistakes in the opening lap, some with cold tires.
Yeah, for sure, such a difficult car here, especially around this circuit to keep in one direction on those opening lap, but Ben Ryan's managing to do it pretty well so far. Top 5 all in the same order. Gustavo Platil up 5 places, one of the highest gainers out of the entire field. And no big gaps forming, apart from really with Hutchinson just pulling away a little bit out in the lead. But this is the first of these straights. It's not exactly Dr. Ho level, but there's so much grip in these cars. You can really get a good slipstream around this part. And they got to be very cautious, or maybe not cautious, but they got to be careful at least at the end of this one into the fast left and then the banked right. It's really a very exciting part of the circuit.
Absolutely, I think the most difficult part for the driver is already over, because those fast corners in the opening sector usually are where drivers make a lot of mistakes with cold tires, as Donis Platel makes another pass on Emmanuel Shooter, so he moves up another spot, but he's definitely looking very strong, as also looking strong everyone behind McHutchinson in this straight, since the draft is so powerful. Now everyone is going to try to keep up with the Scottish driver, who has been always very, very fast all weekend long, but obviously the draft is going to equalize everything for everyone.
Yeah, exactly, and I mean, McHutchinson managed to get the gap up to about 9/10 of a second, and then within a couple of straights, it's down to absolutely nothing. That's how difficult it's going to be to break the draft tonight. You really do need to have a significant pace advantage and hope that the drivers behind start battling as well. Kyrgiopoulos has just dropped a little bit back. It was a terrific qualifying for the car number 4. Half the order didn't really qualify for this. Of course, you have external qualifying for Nordschleife because it would be ridiculous to have qualifying attached to the race. You know, add 20 minutes at least onto the official onto the meeting overall. And so it is a little bit of a mixed up grid, as we have a replay of something that's just happened here to Ennio Bubba, who started from the back, of course, had a lot to do. However, I think his race has quickly come to an end, to an awkward place to make a move and then making contact. Fortunately, the driver who he made contact with didn't sustain too much damage, but yeah, that's the end of Bubba's race.
Absolutely, it was very, very unfortunate. Not the place where you should make a pass there. It's very, very difficult. Plenty of chances here on the straight, where now everyone pretty much has the draft, so it's gonna quite be unlikely to see a pass unless you are the leader, where you have just a big bunch of air in front, and indeed McHutchinson loses a spot on Josh Cam, who gets the lead here coming to the second part of the racetrack.
Hutchinson trying to take it back straight away again. Of course, one race win each for these drivers. Cam with that race win last time out at Suzuka. Hutchinson winning out at Okayama. Both impressive wins, albeit I think occasions there were a couple of the big names missing, as there are today. Of course, no TK Ming, no Kane Halliburton. However, he still are some of the best drivers in this radical SRA wheel, particularly McCutcheon, absolute veteran in the machine. He's been able to do pretty much every week of this broadcasted splits through the season. He's accrued a lot of points. Maybe we'll finish up in second place in the championship as we have Patil making contact with Buson, and Patil had such a fantastic start, was really scrubbing up the order, could have well fought the front runners it seemed. But, well, it's Buson who's really lost out there, but Patil's straight line speed is just going to be rubbish now to the end of the race.
Yeah, we'll see, because didn't seem to sustain a lot of damage, but still, you know how fragile this car is as we catch the replay. See Buson not having a great exit speed, but here the driver behind 13 car just tapping him on the back and setting him into the wall. To sure Buson will have to retire the car or park it in the pit road, because that will be definitely too much damage.
You may have just seen Alan off in the background there. So onto the grass, still going though. Where's Buson still going? It's just, oh, maybe it's not continuing to drop down. But yeah, Buson can't continue with all that damage. Cam then with a bit of a healthy lead, so it's interesting that McCutcheon was able to make the lead earlier on. Now it's Cam, albeit difficult to really judge the pace. Of course, the turbulent air will play a part, but also just the fact that the judges know that they'll catch up anyway. Particularly on the first lap, there's not really any point in pushing and risking a spin on the cold tyres. As we're going to see the first time up the Dotnahay, and then we're going to probably see a change for lead. I think we're going to see a change for 11th position as well between Suter and Weber. And of course catching up to Arts as well. There's contact down the straight, a little bit of damage given. As here comes McCutcheon, he's going to retake the lead. And that is a bit of a reference for you. He was about 9/10 of a second behind going onto the Dotnahay, and yet he can comfortably get alongside by the end here. So you're really going to need probably about 1.2 seconds on the last lap.
Absolutely, as you can see also this is a very hard battle for 10th place. Yes, the slipstream will help you out, but you also need to go back into single file before entering these corners, otherwise all the time you gain onto the straight will be lost, and the race is still very long. 4 laps, about 25 minutes left of the race, so plenty of time to catch the drivers in front, as also here for these drivers to find something and try to pull away, although it's gonna be very difficult. Look at the McCutcheon almost losing the rear end of the car, everyone pushing really hard to break away even slightly on these corners, but unfortunately there's no way for McCutcheon to open the gap and now come, but even Nickens might have a run to take the first spot from the Scottishman.
Yeah, I'm sure he would be getting alongside if the track was just a little bit wider, but there's absolutely nowhere for the third place man to go as Cam retakes the lead. Will McCutcheon fight this one? Certainly McCutcheon you can trust, won't do anything rash out here. He has made 1 or 2 mistakes. I think he took out Barber back at Road America, I believe. But I think that was probably his low points of the season, but apart from that he's fairly reliable. Yeah, Nickens so far not quite able to get in amongst them, but so long to go. Castle's also catching up in 5th place. Allen, who had that off earlier on, he's battling with Hesterman, who we've seen quite a bit in the second half of the season. That was Hesterman actually being able to stay ahead on that occasion. These guys now already 20 seconds in the lead.
Yeah, Hesterman started from pit road. Not a long pit road, so you don't lose a lot of time, but still far away from the other drivers, as we have a few position changes here in the midfield, with Kyriakopoulos losing out on Lear and Platel, 6th and 7th place, dropping to 8th. He had a very good qualifying, but it seems like he doesn't really have the race pace of the drivers around, but as you know, Sam, going fast around this track, you might face some very tough moments, and you don't want to find yourself in the barriers, especially in this track where there's pretty much no corners with an escape route. So if you make a mistake, you will pay the price for it.
Yeah, and I think whilst Kyrgiopoulos maybe doesn't have the pace of the absolute runners, I'd be able to stick with these guys. I mean, he's 18 to a second behind, but it's very underrated just how long some of these straights are around the Nordschleife. I mean, you think of the Dr. Ho, which obviously is fatal. I mean, it must be about 2 kilometers in length. But then there's so many other places, and this is one of them, where you kind of just zigzag slightly through the trees, but you're still on the dot hole for probably over a kilometre. So can really catch quite a bit of time. McCutcheon and Cam demonstrating that at the moment. Once again, Cam getting alongside, but as McCutcheon who stays ahead, that corner there, that left-hander, is pretty much flat out in these cars, and so too is this one. It was absolutely insane, and so it just extends the straight even longer. It is McCutcheon who just about stays ahead, as Hassel's now getting that gap down to about 1.3 seconds, but he needs to keep up this pace here, does Castles, if he's going to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's gonna be very important for him not to lose out too much. Now probably will lose maybe some time to these sections where McCutcheon is very, very fast. But as long as he stays not too far from Kundalini, he will be able to keep up and hopefully then catch back as soon as the drivers in front start battling out. But you know, draft starts from 1.8 some, but if you are more than 1.2, 1.3 behind and all the drivers in front of you have the slipstream of the leader, you might end up outside of the draft range at the end of Dottinger, for example. So you need to be very careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you make a good point where, maybe at the start of the straight you pull away. It's a bit of a concertina effect where, on the straights, if the drivers ahead are all bunched up, they'll kind of sprint away in a pack as they kind of all join together, and then on the brakes, they'll all kind of spread away, a bit of an accordion effect. But yeah, it is very easy to lose time. Because for Kundelis, comfortably in 4th place, he can just go as fast as McCutcheon. So McCutcheon is faster than Castle, so it will be tricky Castles to catch up. Weber and Suter are super close. Oh, that's too much curve. He dips a hill onto the grass as well. Getting away with that one there was Adrian, perhaps in his home race. I'm not quite sure what nationality he is, but certainly from this part of the world. As Leah's just got past Patil, by the way, which doesn't really mean anything because they're about to head onto the dock onto their home. So I don't think that will count too much. I wonder if it's actually maybe a mistake from Patil, or it's a stunning move from Leah.
Very good draft from the Dutchman, and a very solid pass, but obviously now a long straight back to come over the start-finish line, as McCutcheon is a sitting duck on Dottinger and Josh Kapp makes the pass. The problem is though, Sam, that once you make the pass, either you have a huge run like here for Cam, but as soon as you go past the bumper, you start having some side draft, and the guy losing out might actually get some more speed out of that, as we are 3 wide here for 6th place with Taylor. Now, some contact. Taylor is around, taps the wall. Not what he wanted to see. Really, really unfortunate.
Taylor base down under, of course, so that could have well been net code, but they were racing very close anyway, so easy to do that. As, these guys are now 13 seconds behind Castles. It's a lot of time on that lap as well. I mean, Leah and Flecio had a bit of traffic at the start of the lap, but they still lost 7 seconds across the entire lap. The top 5 pretty much all matching each other in the 6-minute 21s. And Leah and Patil in the 6:28. Kyrgiopoulos in the 6:30s. Herman pretty quick on that lap actually, in 11th place in the 6:26s. So,
quite remarkable, Sam, to see the difference in lap time, but this shows you how fast these guys up front are going, and how easy it is to lose time when you're fighting for position. I think Weber, Suter and here had a big one, because I see a lot of colors popping up in our timing tower, as the leaders are still going up it, but it's more swapping places, Sam, so far here at the top.
Yeah, plenty of sparring so far. No big punch being delivered. I know nothing about boxing, but that's boxing. That's
Let's see what happened here.
Oh, no, Lear lost by... did he lose it by himself? I think he hit the grass. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's an airplane crash. Look at him.
And even more, look at that.
Oh, no, and then him across and then another driver. Wow.
We avoided that in lap 1. We thought we would have a decent race with no big ones around this part of the track. You know how treacherous it is in the opening corners, but we got it on lap 3. What are the odds?
Well, James Allen is now up to 9th position after all that. Urban's gone up 5 places, I think. He's up to 7th. So that entire... Well, Platil got through it, of course, even though he may have started it. He was certainly near the front of it. But then Reed from 7th down to 10th, all out of the race right there. Arts, Suter was in there. Of course, Taylor had the problem at the end of the last lap, otherwise he would have been in a good position. And then, of course, Kiriakopoulos and Leah also out. So, yeah, plenty of changes as Cap's just got a little bit away. And Nickens, I think, just feeling, not really keeping up with him right now, John. So I'm going to take 2nd place, but guys don't battle too much. And Cam will be looking in his mirrors, deciding who to give his slipstream to, trying to make it quite even so that they continue fighting. Will just about be Nickens who stays ahead, who looks very quick to me at least, Alessandro, and he seems to have a good brain on him because he's actually been dipping out of the draft down the Dotner High. Nickens very much thinking of the long game.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to be very, very smart with your decisions and your racecraft around here, Sam, because it's even more strategic than anywhere else on the calendar. As McCutcheon makes another small mistakes, you need to be careful, because once you hit up your rears, you can make your life very, very hard till the tires cool down again. McCutcheon losing out big time and now back in 4th place. So he needs to take it easy, not risk it, because he will have a Dottingeroe again on lap 3 to close up to the guys in front. You can afford to lose a bit of time and take it easy and don't make mistakes, because in the end, you see, we have already 8 drivers out of this race, and I think we might have some more joining them in the later part of the race. So it's a matter of survival. You just need to keep it on the track, and you will be getting some valuable points. But obviously, the win, it's very important, and everyone wants it up here.
Absolutely. Cab though does. I think it's just dropping a little bit further back now. It's up to 1.3. Just needs to. You just need to make sure that you're in the margin. You know, you just need to. Make sure you're still there. You don't need to be particularly close, but just make sure you stay within 1.8. By the way, thanks to a few people subscribing. Thomas Janssen. Also, 215 Sugar Free. Also, FCR Timmy 05. Thank you for all subscribing to Apex Racing 2. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. We've got so many races going on, 20 odd every week. This, of course, is one of the best, and we should be able to broadcast it next season as well, because we'll have week 13 and maybe after that we'll see the return of this on Apex Racing TV, and there's loads of other action, rallycross stuff, some oval stuff at least for the North American time zones. We've got Porsche Cups, we've got prototypes, we've got single seaters, absolutely everything on Apex Racing TV and on every day of the week as well. So to check out all our streams, you can also see them on Twitch as well, if that's where you prefer to watch your live streams. Nickens saying bringing that gap down. It's going to be pretty close to Nickens here. But Hutchinson and Castle's actually dropping away from this one. I mean, this was what you were talking about, Sandra, wasn't it? Where if the drivers ahead of you are all bunched together, they can all get the draft on one another. And even though you're in the draft, you kind of get left behind a bit because you've got a much weaker draft than your rivals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very important to know what you're doing, and especially realize when you have to push and when you have not to. As we have a fast salutation between Herman and Zazo. Both drivers starting all the way from the back, did not set a time in qualifying, but they are still making a good result because obviously they kept the car on track, avoided the big one on lap 3, and now, even though Zazo has some rear wing damage, he's doing still decent lap times, but looking at lap times, Sam, you can see the difference between these guys that are doing a fabulous job. 6:33 and the top guys racing 6:22. That's completely a whole different level. As McCutcheon, Sam has lost the draft.
Yeah, he's fallen too far away, hasn't he? So I don't think Hutchinson's got a bit of damage, perhaps, and that's why. But because you did see that mistake that he made before the carousel on the last lap, so it has just been stopped driver error, but unusual because McHutchinson did look good in the early stages and of course did earn that pole position. So shame for him and shame for Castles as well. It'll probably just be a draw between those two for 4th place, but Cam Nickens and Kunda, there's only one race win between them this season, batting it out for in this top 3. Further back, now this might be a bit of a cursed position. Oh, Nickens has crashed. Nickens has crashed, but this is also going on at the same time. Who's going to come out at the top of this? It is Zazo, ahead of Herman, ahead of Hesterman, ahead of Allen. That's a great work there from Zazo, I think, to gain that position right there. But yeah, surely out of the races, Nickens, because he certainly had quite a big off. We'll see a replay on how this happened.
Ooh, too much faster. Got some help from Kundelis. Very unfortunate. Nothing that Arturas could do there, obviously. But not a place where you expect someone to crash. And I think, Sam, this might be the key moment of the race as Borja Zazo moves out the way Herman, or at least there was some contact between the two drivers. I think Zazo also has some damage now because you see the right fender on his car is turn up, it might have some steering damage.
Well, let's see it. Just watching it back on the broadcast, and it's pretty tricky to see. It's pretty tricky to judge as well. Honestly, great save there from Herman. I don't know how he managed to save that.
Absolutely.
And now they're all going to just be held up. I mean, look at Herman, he's already caught back up because Zazo is so slow.
Yeah, it's definitely not a nice thing for these guys, especially Zazo, to have a whole lap and a half still left, so about 10 minutes left in the race. Zazo definitely would love to get the checker flag at the end of this one, because his car has been through a lot in these 3.5 laps at the Green Hell. But nevertheless, always providing great racing. This car has also Arturas Kundelis after that tag with Nickens has been caught by McCutcheon, and also Anticaster behind him. Just 1 second. He's not out of contention, but I think this gives Josh Cam a very big chance to grab the win here if he doesn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, he's out of the draft, he's continuing to pull away, Kundelis with damage. Yeah, everything lining up for Cam to end the season with another race win. So it was Zazo, apologies, Hesterman, who managed to get to the front of that one. How is Zazo still in 8th? So I think Herman got ahead of him for a second, and then he kicked a stick, or maybe it was Alan who got ahead of him for a second. But somehow Zazo is still at the second place in this one.
Yeah, it's remarkable because this car looks completely beaten up from all perspectives. So it's quite interesting to notice this car is still going quite strong, although we all know that this car is probably one of the most fragile cars on the whole service. But hey, you just need to bring the car home here at the Green Hell and you will get a good result. Because you can see from the timing tower, everyone has had a rough night. Here, if you make a mistake, there's no way you can get away with it.
Yeah, it's been quite a high attrition a race so far this season. By the way, thanks to Wombat exclamation for subscribing to Racing TV. Also, big thanks to Virtual Racing School for sponsoring this broadcast and sponsoring all the broadcasts we have delivered of this series so far this season. Virtual Racing School with over 50 data packs. You got setups, track guides, one-on-one coaching with some of the best drivers in iRacing, and also some fantastic telemetry software available for over 50 cars on both road and oval sides of iRacing. So do check out Virtual Racing School for more details on how to improve your racing on iRacing. It's a fantastic tool to increase your competitiveness. And of course, in this car, you can get tuition from Pablo Lopez, who is one of the best drivers in this Radical SR8. He won the official championship last season, won about half of the broadcasted races we had on Apex Racing TV as well, and he can give you tuition on how to get faster in this car. McCutcheon then going ahead of Kundelis. We were just watching as Zazo, he's fighting valiantly, is Zazo, but there's no resisting that one. Alan and Herman moving past. It's Alan who's now ahead of Herman, and they're nearly caught up to Hestman, who will just be safe at the end of this one. One more lap to go between these four.
Okay, and if I was Zazo, I wouldn't really mind to stay in that position for this lap and just to see how it plays out, at least till we get back here on the Dottingerroe, because I've seen already some contact between these drivers earlier on. And usually on the last lap everyone tries to go for it, as also Arturas Kundelis is trying to make the move around the outside. There's plenty of speed, but once you get to these side by side, then the car stalls out with a bunch of air in front, and also with the side draft. The guy who is getting past might come back to it, and indeed Kundelis can't make the pass work, and eventually also the braking point manages to keep up second place. So this guy is definitely going up. If now I don't think there is not a lot of strategy going on between them now. Yes, you want to break away, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna definitely be a very interesting final Dottinger. I think there is gonna be the final dash for the second place.
Yeah, and I mean, Castles is catching up to these guys significantly. I mean, watch that for that 1.2 second gap. It'll probably be less than a second in just a moment as Gonzalez has to inevitably just drop back. And yeah, down to under a second. So Castles should be with these guys soon. Allen versus Hesterman is going on there currently alongside, which is Grave. Oh, McCutcheon with a huge slide. Gonzalez gets alongside, but he doesn't necessarily have the corner done. Huge dip in that chicane, and he managed to get that one finished. So Castle's now right with these drivers. That's very much been a catalyst for him to close that gap past that mistake from McCutcheon. There's up into second, and Allen then did manage to make that move on Hesterman. By no means is decisive. Zazo's still keeping up with these guys due to the fact that they're all fighting. But yeah, it's now Allen, I think, at the highest position he's been in all race.
Absolutely, Allen doing an amazing job after that interesting start he had, dropping all the way back to the end. But also Johannes Hesterman, the German driver, starting from pit road and now fighting for 7th place. He definitely couldn't expect that at the start. See, there was not a lot of carnage, but then it paid off quite a bit for him, entering the top 10, and now having a chance to get another position. For sure, maybe not the most exciting race of the season, but still providing some valid, solid racing, especially with these packs forming up and very, very difficult to break up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's not been a brilliant battle for the race. Similar story to last season, really. Just a couple of collisions, kind of splitting up the front pack, but still being very good elsewhere. Herman, by the way, managing to get that move done on Heston in the end of it. Also still being very close by the end of the straight. McCutcheon having to stay behind Kundelis there. Castle's just not quite nailing the castle. I don't think he really likes that one too much. Does just drop back a little bit further than he would want. Here comes Zazo. Oh, there's nothing between the two cars. They're lucky not to pick up any netcode right there. Sliding were the pair of them. And Zazo does be able to make up a place there. And don't rule him out. Does he? Oh, there's a spin for the car number 8, and that's him out of the running in this pack. Fortunately, he doesn't hit the wall. Really slow, seemingly going into the carousel. There is Alan. He's got Heston all over the back of him. Single file around this part of the circuit. So yeah, it'll just be a three-way battle for 7th place and a three-way battle for 2nd place as well.
We're gonna have a very interesting final Dottinger to wrap up season 2 of 2021 for the Radical Fixed Championship. And also thanks now to Limit of Adhesion for subscribing to our channel, but also to another sponsor that has been with us for a long time now, Sam, SDK Gaming, adding live virtual hats to iRacing, showing timing towers like we have here for you on our broadcast, relative boxes, mini bars, fleet calculators, and everything you may need for your leagues and championships. So make sure to check it out at sdk.gaming.co.uk and grab your 14 days of free trial as we are approaching the Dottinger for the 2nd place group.
Yep, and Kundelis is not safe. This will be easy for McCutcheon to get past. It would just be a case of whether Kundelis can get back into the draft and re-overtake him in the second half of the straight. So here comes the Scotsman, and there goes Kundelis back into the draft, now trying to steal some of that momentum for himself, and it's looking pretty good here for Kundelis to be able to move back ahead. He's got his nose ahead. Cam is going to win this one. It's all to play for 2nd place. Neither of these drivers are giving an inch at the moment. Who is going to be deeper on the brakes? It's Kundelis with the better line. He gets the inside, and there's surely no response for McCutcheon. Out in the lead though, Josh Cam is able to take the final race of the season, and it is Kundelis who beats McCutcheon. Probably well deserved, seeing that he entered the Dottinger ahead. But those two really driving well out there. Clean racing between the two, and also Castle's a very close 4th. Nickens, despite a lot of damage in the closing stages, finishes in 5th. Apologies, not too much damage, but Platil with some damage in 6th. Nickens with that spin in 5th. Who is going to win out of Hesterman and Allen? Looks as though it's going to be Hesterman who is going to win out of this trio, managing to get the jump on Allen right at the close at the Dottinger. He's a little bit wide through the final corner, but it's a short run to the line, and it's Hesterman who consolidates that 7th place.
Yeah, very interesting finale of the season between Kundelis and McCutcheon. I did expect Kundelis to come back because McCutcheon maybe timed his run a bit too early on the straight, and since it's an uphill section, once you get in front, then it's very, very difficult to maintain the drivers behind you. They provided us with a very, very exciting finish also in the midfield. This car provides overall good racing wherever we are, every track we are, and especially in the midfield, always a lot of very, very nice scraps, as we see the finish also for our race leader Josh Cam. We haven't seen much, especially in the last few laps. Dominating performance from the Englishman.
Yeah, And if he is able to attend most of the broadcasted races next season, Cam would certainly be one of the favourites. Successful driver in the Porsche Cup Championship, I think managed to finish in 3rd position in the overall standings in the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship Season 2. And of course winning the final 2 races this season in the Radical broadcasted events. Karen is still going. Credit to him. He's got a while to go though. To get to the finish as the car number 9. And so I'll just take this opportunity. Thanks our last sponsor as well for this series and for this broadcast, Apex Racing Academy, who have 29 data packs available on road and also rallycross racing. Apex Racing Academy, super usable stuff. I mean, obviously it's got amazing setups, it's got amazing coaches, but also the fact that you got the brilliant setup sync technology used in it, where you can just load into the iRacing session, and as long as you have got a membership, all the setups are downloaded for you. Also replays as well, you just load into the iRacing simulator again, and all the RPY files are downloaded for you, so you can quickly just click on them in order to kind of see the hot lap provided by the driver, by the coach. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. It saves you so much time, trust me, and it's well worth the I believe £6 a month it is to become a silver member. You can also become a bronze member as well, just for the 1 car, or you can pay a little bit more, get access to 29 cars. So do check it out, apexracingacademy.com or apexracingac.com for more details. There is a link in the description below. As we're going to see Martin just approach the line in a second. I'll get you thinking, actually, Alessandro, about what your favourite race of the season is. I mean, it's always a tricky one to call, but off the top of your head, do any spring to mind?
That's a very tough question, to be fair. I don't really... you caught me off guard here, Sam. I'm thinking, but I don't really know what to answer, because we had some very solid race all season long. We had great races where we had very good battles towards the front, but some races where instead the front was a bit more calm, but we had some amazing scraps in the midfield. And that's why these races are never boring. Maybe some tracks are less exciting than others, but the drivers will put up a great show, and races are short but very intense, so we really love this broadcast.
I apologise for putting you on the spot. I really hate being asked that question. I was asked that question yesterday by Mr. Andy Thompson. I had no idea it was for AOLTC. We've had like 48 races, and I came up with a dreadful answer, I think. No, apologies for that one, but it is tricky. It is honestly very tricky to pick one out, because we've had 12 fantastic events across the season. And here are the results then for the final race of the season. Josh Cam, 4.5 seconds ahead of Arturis Kundalis. John McHutchinson finishing in 3rd place against Ant Castles, Eric Nickens, Donnaise Plateil, Johannes Hesterman, James Allen, Borja Zaze, Mateo Herman, Andrew Dixon, Paul Taylor, Alexis Vico, Martin Karen, Michael Messenger didn't finish the race, unfortunately. Also didn't finish the race was Emmanuel Suter, Scott Lear, Dennis Kyrikopoulos, Adrian Weber, Christian Arts, Mike Bousson, Ennio Barber, and Paul Trapp. So yeah, you can see how drivers kind of retired at different points in the race. So plenty of incidents. Particularly that incident in the back end of the top 10 took out many of the drivers running near the front. We're going to have a few interviews now to round off the season, and the first man we need to chat with, of course, is Josh Cam, our race winner tonight. Congratulations, Josh. That is, by my mark, 2 race wins to end off the season. You must be absolutely delighted.
Well, thank you, Sam. I am absolutely chuffed. And that was, the one last week at Suzuka, it was a very unfortunate incident between myself and Olago, but this race this week was. I think this would be a classic if the F1 commentators were on. The battle with John felt fairly titanic. He didn't give me anything, but I think the race was fair, and this car and track combination is something to behold.
Have you raced this car track combo in the past, and how much practice have you been able to do for it this week?
I have not. My biggest experience, I raced the 24 hours in the GT3 cars a couple of months ago with my team, Pure Motorsport, and I think that put me in very good stead for this week. I have done 3 or 4 races, I believe now. I raced Alessandro earlier today, who was extremely fast as well. And I think this track, you have to just keep lapping and lapping. I realised I was getting faster even through that race. I stepped my fastest of the week because there's nothing close to a perfect lap here. There are so many corners, so many blind apexes. There's always more to gain, but that's why we love this track.
And of course, as I said before, I mean, 2 race wins to end off the season. If you attend all the races next season, then maybe you could be a challenge to the defending champion, Kane Halliburton. Do you think you're going to be able to do many of these broadcasted races next season?
I definitely intend to. This was a new venture for me this season. I joined halfway through, managed to compete in 6 rounds. I think I made maybe 5 of the broadcasts. And yeah, this was my beginnings to hopefully a long Radicals career. I have some great teammates like Ant Castles, who was 4th today, and we have some other great drivers who might turn up perhaps for season 4 this year. So I'm hoping I'm bedded into the car now, and I intend to race as much as possible next season. I think Ming and Halliburton at the top are very, very fast. Whether I can challenge them week in, week out, we'll have to wait and see next season. But I intend to be there and give it as much as possible, and maybe we can come back to Suzuka and the Nordschleife, because they clearly suit my style.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're very good circuits. I'd be happy to have their entire season at those 2 tracks. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yes, definitely. Well, you guys especially, for all your coverage. The commentary is always brilliant. It's great to watch these things back, whether you have a good day or a bad day. To my team, Pure Motorsport, who've been a great outlet, especially this year in the pandemic when everyone's had a horrid time. It's been great to be involved in all these races and let some people outside sim racing really get to see what it's all about. I think the entertainment's been welcome for everyone. So my teammates, especially Ant, has really helped me in this first season to get up to grips. And yeah, everyone who enjoys watching sim racing, keep doing it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Josh, and we hope to see you soon. We hope to see you back very soon on the channel.
Thank you, guys.
Josh Cam, they're your race winner tonight. Alessandro, a couple more interviews. Who would you like to have a chat with?
Yes, let's bring in second place finisher Arturo Ascundalis, who today, since I raced him 2 hours ago, booked second place because he finished second 2 hours ago and also finished second in the broadcast race. Good job, Arturo.
Thanks a lot, Alessandro. And yeah, the previous race was pretty good fun among us, and this one was very, very intense. So really happy because this is my favorite place in the world. So this is a strong finish I was looking for.
Absolutely, we've seen you all season long with plenty of speed, but unfortunately not always getting the results that you were hoping for. Definitely this track suits you very, very well. And do you like also this kind of racing where the draft is playing a very, very big role into these results?
Not really. I'm kind of neutral in terms of draft. I just love Nürburgring itself. The draft is kind of a side effect, so all you can do is just try to break away all the way from the carousel to the main straight. So that's where the tricks are. So yeah, it's a certain different kind of racing here.
Absolutely, and since now we are wrapping up this season, what are your objectives for season 3? What is your plan? Are you gonna contend for something, for a top 5 or top 3 in the championship maybe, or switch to something else for the summer season?
Yeah, well, in terms of results, who knows? But I'm definitely going with the Radicals again, because this season I wasn't participating in the first few rounds because I just wasn't aware the broadcast races are actually going on. So yeah, next season it's going to be a full season for me, and I can't wait really because I'm enjoying this a lot.
Absolutely, we are too. And before we let you go, Arturas, anybody you would like to thank?
Both of you guys, you and Sam, watching your broadcasts is a really fun experience, especially when you're being shown there. So yeah, thanks a lot. You're doing a really professional job there.
We definitely really appreciate the compliments, and it's all about you guys because you do the racing and we just do the rest. So if you don't put up a good show, then it will be harder for us. You make it easy.
Yeah, it takes two to tango.
Thank you very much, Arturas, and see you then on week 1 of the season.
Grazie, Alessandro. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. And Sam, now I think we have a quick, still a bit of time to have a quick chat with Ant Castle, right?
Yes, we do, and finishing in a 4th position tonight. Congratulations, and that's a really good result to end the season. You were always just a little bit behind the lead pack, it seemed. That seems to be kind of the story of your race.
Yeah, I can't nail the last sector like the guys in front of me, and that's where you need to be quick. So yeah, there's something to practice there, definitely.
Yeah, it's still really good result though to now cost only 5 seconds off the leader. Because it's been a long season, 3 months in the car. Would you say you've kind of been able to improve as the season's gone on? Is there anything you've been kind of able to identify and kind of rectify as the season has progressed?
Yeah, I think this season's been quite good, although I've had ups and downs with it, to be honest, with the broadcast. I haven't had much luck. So I'll be back for season 3. I'll give it another go. It's good to see Josh, obviously, now in the series as well. Putting in times he's putting in, it's quite impressive. So it'll be an interesting season 3, I think, for the guys at the top.
Absolutely, and I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen the calendar for next season, but it's maybe a little bit more balanced in terms of the slipstream circuits versus the more tight technical circuits. I mean, have you been able to have a look? And if so, kind of what's your thoughts on it?
I think actually the guys did a good job in sorting it out. It looks pretty good. Hopefully we'll see some good battling again, but without the pull of the toe, really. I mean, I only stayed in this tonight because of that reason. So some weeks it works for you, some weeks it works against you. So
definitely, yeah. It's certainly really any track round in this car should be a lot of fun for next season. We were talking to one of your teammates earlier on. I mean, talking about potentially, pure. Potentially putting even more drivers into the series. I mean, have you been able to convince maybe your teammates to kind of give the car a go, or are they former Radical drivers themselves?
Yeah, we've got a few actually who are former Radical guys. So I think season 4 is the one that keeps being shouted out once the special events season's over and done with. So yeah, expect to see some more pure guys on the grid. Should be fun.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go, Ant, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
I'll just give a shout out to Concrete Ocean again for the sponsorship, and also I'd like to say hello to Lee Bindley, a friend of mine who watches week in, week out. So thanks for watching, Lee.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Ant, and doing, of course, so many of the races this season. Hope to see you back very soon.
Cheers, guys. Take it easy.
Ant Castle's there, your 4th place finisher tonight. And now, Sandro, we might actually be able to have a chat with one more driver.
Yeah, we have 3rd place finisher John McCutchinson with us. John, are you with us? Congratulations for a podium, but I think it's not the result you were expecting from tonight.
No, disappointed, Alessandro. I think I picked up suspension damage on lap 2 in the carousel. So every time I was turning right, the car was trying to kill me.
Yeah, we definitely noticed that because it was very, very different, the driving style you had in the second part of the race, and some uncharacteristic mistakes from you. So I wondered if you had some kind of damage, and you know how fragile this car is. You don't want to have any kind of damage,
Yeah,
especially in a track like that.
No, I remember last season we were getting a lot of damage. Well, I was getting damage on the carousel, but this season I haven't had any at all. So I've been taking the same line all the time. But I heard a bang just as I entered the carousel. No, the car wasn't right after that. But Josh and Arturus drove a great race. It was a good race.
Absolutely, it was very, very interesting, especially that final dotting Hoe was very, very close between you and Arturas. What about next season? What are your objectives? Do you have anything to plan, doing something different also on other cars?
I won't be able to race as much next season as I did this season. Just getting back to real life again. So maybe every second week, maybe. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'll race it again as much as I can.
Absolutely, we always love to see you in this broadcast. You've been with us on Apex Racing TV on Friday evening for a long time, so we obviously want to see you here as soon as we can. And before we let you go, John, anyone you would like to thank?
I'd just like to thank Apex Racing TV again for the broadcast. They're very good. I think most of the guys would agree they've done a great job this year. And a big thanks to all the drivers for such competition. And congratulations to Kane, who was different class in this league. So well done.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us, John, and have a good week.
Yeah, thanks guys. Bye.
I think this wraps up our interviews for this final round.
Yes, it does. And I mean, usually I'd be asking you, what's your thoughts on the next rounds of the championship? But of course, we have a break. We have a break next week. However, I did hint at it earlier on. I can't recall what the first round of next season is, but generally the calendar looks very good. We're going back to Alton Park, so I mean that's all good. And generally a real nice mix of tracks coming up next season. So it should be more fantastic racing. Of course, this series or this broadcast is funded by drivers from the Radical community, and we cannot thank them enough for raising the hundreds of pounds which they have done to support this broadcast. We super appreciate it, and of course, as me and Alessandro are both drivers in this championship, we appreciate the fundraising to make the series even bigger. Because this it's such a fantastic community as well. And if you want to try it out, then do load it up. I've been driving around Chicago street course all week in this Radical SRA. It's very good. So get the car. It's fixed setup. It's super accessible. I mean, it's a little bit tricky to drive on the cold tires, but once you get it into a window, then it is an absolute joy to drive. And maybe give the Nordschleife a spin, or if that's a little bit too much, maybe give it a go in week 13 when there might well be a free circuit. And of course, try it next season as well. Maybe even appear on this broadcast race as well, because there's hundreds of drivers who take part every week in this official series for you to race against. Of course, massive thanks to SDK Gaming Virtual Racing School and to Apex Racing Academy for sponsoring this championship for the entire broadcast. Thanks for all the admin team for, of course, setting up the broadcast, and also, of course, sorting out the points. Thanks to, of course, the drivers for putting on such a fantastic show for us and really delivering one of the highest quality races each week we have on Apex Racing TV. And that pretty much draws us to a close. So I've been Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me has been Alessandro Dalbzoni. Throughout the season, Mark Chanter has been operating the cameras. Thank you very much for tuning in this season, and we hope to see you back very soon. See you then.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.